What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, before I go into the content of this matter of this video, I want to remind you guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Too Raw for TV. If you haven't hit the notification button, please hit that button so that you'll be notified of any and every video that drops on my channel. If you like or at least appreciate the content on my channel, please hit that like button. But if you want to be a fucking hater and leave a troll comment, you can do that as well. These are things that will help not only my channel, but other channels in the LDBC that you're subscribed to be that much better. If you want to show love for Too Raw for TV, if you choose to, you can do so via PayPal or the Cash App. And also, if you want to support Too Raw for TV on Patreon, you can do that as well. On the Patreon for only $2 a month, I'm able to talk about stuff on there that I can't talk about on YouTube because this isn't the right platform for that. Social issues, politics, controversial topics, totally too raw and unfiltered and uncensored. Now, this is a video response to Town Biz. I think he asked me for my opinion on if LeBron James was to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, would that make him the GOAT? Based on this season, like, what is LeBron averaging right now? About 26 points per game. So LeBron James, even though he's physically declining, he's still going to get his numbers. All right, he's still going to get his numbers. He keeps himself in excellent shape. As long as LeBron James' body is able to withstand the rigors of an NBA season, if he's able to hold off major injury, like a Karl Malone, like an Elvin Hayes, like the man standing in this picture, a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a Robert Parrish, if he's able to have one of those careers, be fortunate enough to have one of those careers like a Moses Malone, one of those guys, then I think the likelihood of him surpassing Kareem becomes that much greater, because let's not forget that Karl Malone was on his way to passing Kareem. He was going to pass Kareem in scoring. And that was one of his motivating factors to continue to keep on playing. And he could have kept on playing for a couple more years. And he would have passed him, because at the time he was only, I think, 1,500 or so points away. So even at a reduced rate, he was less than 2 seasons away, possibly 1 season away from passing Kareem. But he retired. I remember him saying, because he started losing the passion for basketball. I think it had something to do with the passing of his grandmother or something like that. That was a factor in it. But he could have passed Kareem, but he chose not to. LeBron, on the other hand, is a guy who I feel like at this stage of his career is becoming a lot more statistics orientated in goals. I think he is kind of, I'm not saying he doesn't want to win championships anymore. I'm not saying that. But I think, to me, part of his earlier drive was the media saying he was the king without a ring. And how can you be a king with no ring? And he hasn't won a championship. He hasn't proven himself. So at this stage, LeBron James won a championship in 2012, 2013, and then he won that championship in Cleveland, which was the crowning achievement of his NBA career. So, like I said, he still is driven, but I think his lust, he doesn't have the same lust for titles that Bill Russell and Kobe and Jordan and Bird and Magic had. He would like to win another championship, but he doesn't have that lust, like that laser-like, focus on championships. I think at this point he's really more stats oriented. So that's why I think he's gonna pass Kareem. I think that's what his sights are set on. Right now, his sights are set on Kobe, and he should do that, barring injury, sometime in January, I think. Now, if he does do that, does that make him the GOAT? Well, this is my problem with that argument. I don't understand why people have limited this argument to only two people. How in the hell is it just Mike and LeBron in this GOAT argument? There are other players. In my opinion, the two other players are Wilt Chamberlain from a dominance and statistical standpoint, if you want to go that route, because a lot of people will bring up, well, if LeBron passes Kareem, he's the GOAT. I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, his numbers are incredible. I mean, look, he'll be the all-time leading scorer. He'll have well over 10,000 assists, and he'll be close to or past 10,000 rebounds, and no other guy would have those type of numbers, and da-da-da-da. It's incredible. But then I'll bring up Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, Wilt's the only guy that averaged 30 and 20 for his career, and he averaged 50 points one season, 40 points another season, 7 straight scoring titles, 11, what was it? It's 11 rebounding titles or 9 rebounding titles? I think it's 11. 11 rebounding titles in a 13-year career. Statistically, the greatest rebounder of all time. You go by stats and, all these scoring records, 122 career 50-point games and, 100-point game and 27 rebound scoring averages rookie year, and 27 rebound averages rookie year. Rookie year, he averaged 38 points and 27 rebounds, and 23,924 rebounds for his career, and 55 rebounds in one game. And unofficially, he holds the block record with 26 blocks in a game, even though the NBA doesn't count that. And unofficially, he's probably the all-time leader in blocks. Probably the all-time leader in triple doubles if blocks were counted in his career. So if you want to go that stats argument, hold my beer when it comes to Wilt Chamberlain, okay? But then you want to go to, well, what about championships? Well, Wilt has 2, but LeBron has 3. And well, Kareem has 6 championships. And you might say, well, LeBron has 4 MVPs. Yeah, but Kareem has 6 MVPs. Kareem had the most unstoppable shot in the history of the NBA, the skyhook. He shot 56% from the floor. Since LeBron fans love accuracy and always bring up LeBron's field goal percentage, well, Kareem shot 56% for his career. And if you take out the last 2 years when he really wasn't Kareem, he shot 57%. Matter of fact, if you take out the last 2 years of Kareem's career, which really hurt his overall averages, because for his career he averaged 24.6 points, 11.2 rebounds. But if you take out the last 2 years, his averages go up to about 26 and 12, I think, something like that, close to it. Kareem was a beast, all right? And Town Biz is absolutely 100% correct. Kareem is the greatest high school player in the history of America. His dominance with Power Memorial Academy in New York, the greatest. Plus, he's one of the top, if arguably the top collegiate player of all time at UCLA. They banned the dunk because of him. And then you have his NBA career. When you look at prep, collegiate, and pro career, you combine them, Kareem is the undisputed GOAT. If you combine all 3 levels, high school, college, and the pros. Plus, he played 20 years. He was the first guy, if I'm not mistaken, to play 20 years in the NBA. And probably could have played another season if he chose to. Could have played another year. But, by that time, he was really starting to become diminished as a player. But if he was greedy, could have played another year, I guess. It certainly wasn't because of his health, because if I'm not mistaken, I think he played 74 games this last year. So it definitely wasn't that he didn't have the health to play another year. But there are other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like this argument being only toward a couple of people. And if Magic Johnson had played longer, if he didn't have to retire due to the HIV virus, I think he's in this conversation as well. And he still kind of is, still kind of in the conversation. When you look at what he was able to accomplish in basically 12 years. I mean, he did come back in 95, 96, but that was briefly. I think 30-something games or something. So, yeah, I guess you say it's a 13-year career. But look what he did in 13 years. In 13 years, he went to the NBA Finals 9 times. Now, remember, LeBron's been playing 17 years. So Magic been to the finals 9 times. He won 5 NBA championships. When he retired, he was the all-time leader in assists, both total assists and assists per game. He's still the all-time leader in assists per game at over 11 a game. Uh, and he's the most dominant point guard in the history of the NBA, bar none, and the greatest. He's not the most skilled, if you talk about like ball handling and scoring and shooting, but what he brought to the table, he was so multifaceted and such a dominant point guard, and the things that he could do on the court and his floor vision. I mean, he was unbelievable. But if LeBron James becomes the all-time leading scorer, then no, that doesn't make him the GOAT. It strengthens his argument considerably, and then you have to put him in the upper echelon of players. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Kobe, at that point you would have to, especially if he's able to win one or more one additional championship at least, you would have to put him over Kobe at that point in time because he would just be too accomplished a basketball player. Where I would rank him, it would be a tough decision, but I would probably have to rank him at least top three at that point. I would have to put him in that stratosphere if he's able to do that. And depending on what he accomplishes, maybe even top two. But it's like this too. If you hate LeBron James, you're gonna find a reason to not put him in your top whatever. If you love LeBron James, you're gonna find every reason to make him the greatest. If you're neutral on LeBron James like I am, even though some people think I'm a hater, and then some people think I'm a fanboy or whatever. If you're neutral, you try to look at both sides and make a decision based on that. So that's kind of how I feel about it, man. But yeah, I do think that he's going to pass him, um, barring injury, because I think he's driven at this stage of his career by statistics. We can just look and see, watch the guy play. When you watch him play, he's like, I put it like this. Ever since Russell Westbrook, like before Russell had that season where he had 42 triple doubles or whatever it was, 43 triple doubles, the MVP year. Before Russell accomplished that, LeBron would have triple doubles. But a lot of times they would just come within the flow of the game. Sometimes he would chase them a little bit, but more or less, they just happen. If it was happen, if it was going to happen, it happened. Now, when you watch them, especially since Russell's been getting them at this remarkable rate, now you see LeBron kind of stat padding a little bit. So when you see this history of a guy that seems like he's chasing individual statistics, you see himself patting himself on the back a lot of times on Twitter when he reaches a milestone. This is a guy that once wore a shirt that said "check my stats." So this is a guy that is about numbers, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, Major League Baseball, they cherish their history and stats and all that, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But that's what he's about. So that's why I think he's gonna get there eventually. Like it's all gonna be dependent upon his health, though. He's gonna have to play into a period of his career where he's obviously on the downside, like no longer capable of carrying a team. All right, he's gonna have to be able to play to that level. Like right now, I don't think LeBron can. carry a team by himself anymore. The LeBron James was able to carry. I put it like this: the LeBron James was able to carry that 2007 Cavs team. If you took this LeBron and put him on that team, they're not beating that Pistons team. He can't consistently carry a team like he did back then. He's still a great player, but he needs, literally now, he does need help. So that's my take on it.